Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be discussing about Bitcoin and the cryptocurrency market. Yesterday we had the CPI report which came cooler than expectation, and everybody was saying that now Bitcoin is going to go to $64,000, $70,000. And what happened? You went totally on the other side, and Bitcoin dropped from roughly 61,000 to $57,000. And then you ask yourself, what's going to be happening next? So today, what I'm going to be discussing is going to be if we're going to have a potential low, how low we're going to go down to. I'm going to also tell you what I think is going to be our top mid-term top for the next 2 to 3 months. How high are we going to go to? So first of all, I would like to tell you, subscribe to the channel because we post one video every single day where we analyze Bitcoin from short-term macro point of view and so much more. But more specifically, we're going to really help you to navigate this crazy cryptocurrency market. Do I think the bottom is in already? I don't know. We might still one more wave 5 down to $44,000 to $43,000. But in my opinion, looking at the data, the bottom, local bottom, is very, very close, and is going to be followed by a parabolic pump to the upside. Alrighty, guys, let's have a look at Bitcoin straight away on the weekly. So yesterday we were saying that pretty much we were looking for some resistance around the $61,000, $62,000 on our previous video on YouTube, and I was expecting some correction to the downside. It's all documented on my YouTube channel. And as a matter of fact, as a consequence, we had that drop which I was thinking. And guess what, guys? In our VIP group, we already knew all of that in advance because we post analysis every single day. So yesterday we were already talking about this scenario over here. So all of our our members, of course, they went and shorted the market. And guess what happened? Look at the results, guys, from our VIP members, 20%, 22, 32, 35, 26%. So everybody was saying CPI was lower. Everybody went long. Our Discord group went short, got crazy money. And then straight away this morning, guys, with one of my trading calls, I said to go long when everybody was shorting. And again, we made money on the other side. So you can see all our trading calls over here, made money this morning like this. Why, guys? Why we are able to make all this money every time with our VIP group, right? Because we are a group of professional traders. We are specialized in technical analysis and so many other things and macroeconomic correlations. So if you are a trader, if you're an investor and you want quality calls and you really want to avoid all the BS you can find on our group and you really want quality results like this one over here, look how much green you guys. You have to join the VIP group. Otherwise, you are going to be in trouble and you're not going to make it into this Bitcoin bull market. If you want to join, guys, link in the description below. So everybody was saying, oh yeah, we're going to go tomorrow because that's the CPI is lower and the Fed is going to cut rates, and then we went down. But the best news, guys, the best news was we dropped because the US government is selling Bitcoin. So let me understand. The VIP group and myself on YouTube, I was saying that we should have seen a drop because Bitcoin looks exhausted. And then suddenly the reason why Bitcoin dropped was because of the US government. Guys, as I always say, don't believe in this FUD. That's very, very important. And now everybody's asking, are we going to go down now to $30,000, $20,000, $110,000, whatever? Guys, let me just calm you down a little bit and let me show you two potential scenarios where I think Bitcoin could be going into this mid-term top until the end of the year 2024. Right now, Bitcoin is sitting into an interesting situation because we had that beautiful pump to the upside about $61,000, $62,000, and right now is getting rejected from here. You can see on the weekly chart from this point over here, which is the 20 weeks moving average, and is also at the same convergence as well with the 9 weeks moving average. So we had a pump up to there, we got a rejection, and right now what we could be forming, we have two potential scenarios from here. So looking at this chart over here and talking about Elliott waves, it looks like that what could be happening right now with BTC is a sort of a corrective wave. So we had the wave A where Bitcoin tanked from 71,000 to roughly 48,000. Then we have a B wave where Bitcoin rebounded back and retouched this area over here. And now, what could be happening right now? We could be completing wave number C, which is sitting at roughly 46 to $45,000. You can see it just goes, from the absolute bottom at $16,000. It touches this line over here, and also it goes to this line over here. So that's what I'm expecting. It could be happening as the, I would say, absolute local bottom for me to open a big position. I could be seeing like it is sort of like an ABC correction before starting our final wave 5. So of course the wave 5, guys, is going to be comprised of 5 small waves. You can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I'm expecting that what we're going to be seeing could be an impulse wave from the C at 45, 44,000 up to maybe 62,000, retracing down to 52,000, big bounce of wave 3 up to 85K, retracing down to 67, and then the final blow of top at roughly 110,000. That could be my first hypothetical scenario. And all of this is based on the fact that, of course, looking at the structure of BTC, that could be definitely a possibility. But also looking at the fractals as well, you can see this fractal that we had before, which could show you that this could actually be true. And look at this, we were from here. We went from 27,000 to roughly $75,000. So if I replicate the same thing, which this one was wave 3. So we have wave 1, 2 correction, 3. If I'm going to then replicate wave 3 and I bring it up to here, it brings me exactly the same type of scenario. Look at that. Look how reliable is this. Pump up to here, correction, pump, correction down to here, and then final pump up to here, almost up to $120 by the 30th of December, which is also in line with this part over here. You can see if I draw a diagonal line from these tops at this area, it can bring you exactly, look, let me just make it even more accurate from here. You can see that like that, we could be touching this level over here, roughly 110 to 120 by December 2024, January 2025. We can even go and drop a Fibonacci extension to see if this could actually be true. And you can see that the Fibonacci extension is giving us the second line exactly at this point over here. So looking at all these charts, I would say one scenario could be that BTC could be forming a sort of a identical fractal. I'm not going to say identical, but similar fractal that is going to go into a blow off top and then reach this area by the end of the year. But before, we might see maybe one last correction at $45,000. And also, guys, an alternative scenario, which is my favorite scenario. And also, guys, an alternative scenario, which is my favorite scenario, is going to be this one over here, which I think will make much more sense. Is that the bottom for Bitcoin is already in, and what we could be seeing right now from here already, it was the start of wave 1 out of 5. But of course, because it has already started from here, then I'm expecting wave 5 to be shorter and smaller than the one I showed you before. And what I could be expecting from here could be, right now we had an impulse, wave number 1, rejection down to this weekly moving average at roughly $53,000 to $54,000. Then a big pump up to roughly $72,000, $73,000, previous all-time high. A wave 4 again down to $62,000, $63,000, and then a final pump, wave 5, really up to the extension of Fibonacci at 1.816 at roughly $84,000 to $85,000. And again, if I'm going to take a fractal from here and I'm going to bring it from this point over here to this point over here, is bringing me the exact pattern around here. We should be coming roughly around September, end of September, end of October 2024. So that could be my two scenarios, which I think, they could be could be playing. And then after that, people are asking me, what do you think, is going to be happening with Bitcoin? Well, guys, after this big pump over here, I could be expecting BTC to have a proper correction. And when I talk about proper correction, I'm talking about something like going back to this area. Even especially if you're going to have a recession, with a recession, I could be seeing BTC to drop a lot. And when I mean by a lot, I mean a lot. I'm talking about maybe down to this area over here, 34,000, 30,000, or even less, which of course from 100,000 to 30,000 could be an 80% drop. And of course, lots of people will not like that. So that's what I think is going to be happening now, guys, with BTC. So of course, you then make your own research and conclusion, of course. Let me just show you as well on the daily chart, on the 4-hour chart as well, what I think is going to be happening intraday. So you can see that right now, we're forming a sort of like a double top from here, and I'm expecting that if we're going to see a reaction from here, is going to be happening around the $57,000 area. So I want to see if this one is a true wave 1 out of 5. I want to see, as I said before, the 1, the 2, the 3, 4, and 5. But of course, if you're going to break down this $56,000, there is a risk that Bitcoin, of course, could be continuing to go down to this area. But right now, I could see like a small short-term rebound around the 56, even $57,000 area. So something that is going to make me, I would say, certain that we're going to see a last correction in Bitcoin down to $44,000 to $45,000. It will be in relation to the stock market. So what you have to do is to really keep the stock market monitored at the moment. Why is that? Because usually Bitcoin follows the stock market and the Nasdaq, right? So if you have the Nasdaq that is pretty much going to the downside, then of course don't expect Bitcoin to go to the upside. So at the moment with the Nasdaq, I'm a little bit stuck in between a rock and a hard place, and I'm going to show you why. The Nasdaq had a beautiful rebound up to this area over here, and you can see that what we touch over here is called the golden pocket in a Fibonacci retracement, right? So we went up to this area, we went roughly up to here, as well as the S&P 500. And right now, whenever you are entering like a golden pocket area, what could be happening is that this is actually like this one is a start of a wave 1 out of 5, or is only like a B correction. So looking at the chart from here, right, almost looks like the Nasdaq is actually into a what we call a bear flag. So if it's in a bear flag and then we complete this movement over here, it's going to bring us back to roughly $16,000. It's going to be like an ABC. But if this one is already like a wave 1 out of 5, then you're going to be seeing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So looking at this chart, right, what I would say is that, in my opinion, looking at the data, what we could be seeing right now is going to be a correction in the next upcoming days. So I would be expecting Bitcoin to retrace down to maybe 56, 55, the Nasdaq maybe down to 18,400, 18,000. And then if we're going to see a big rebound coming from that area, from the Nasdaq and the S&P, then I could be saying that this was a wave 2 out of 5. But if we're going to see more breakdown to the downside, then I could be saying that this was only like a wave B, and wave C is about to follow. And then, of course, guys, after wave C with the Nasdaq, we're going to see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, reaching roughly this level of Fibonacci extension at $23,000 to $24,000. But of course, if we're going to see a nice reaction from the wave 2 and then to continue to go to the upside, we could see wave 5 around this area. The only difference that I would say from this and this, right, is the fact that with the Nasdaq, you're going to be able to buy cheaper at this area, $60,500, but this is going to probably end up faster, right? So looking at the first, if we are already in a wave 5, I could be expecting to be done by the end of October. But otherwise, if it's going to be more like a ABC from here, and then we still have to start wave 5, I would say we could be finishing around this area, which is at the end of the year, or even January 2025. That's going to be the difference, the main difference. And of course, guys, it all depends what the Fed is going to do about cutting interest rates, because if they're going to cut interest rates in September, I could be seeing this first wave 5 starting very, very quickly. But if we're going to see the Fed not cutting rates in September, then I could be seeing this wave C correction to go down, and then finally we're going to see the last pump towards the end of the year. The last thing I want to talk about today, guys, DXY dollar currency index, very important as well. So if we're going to see again the Fed not cutting interest rates, I could be seeing the dollar pumping up a little bit more this way. You can see on the weekly chart, maybe going up and then form one last pump, up to here at 108, and then of course continue to finish. Otherwise, if the Fed is going to cut rates in September, then I could really be seeing this DXY to continue to go down, reaching a level of roughly 94 to 95, which then would imply Bitcoin and the stock market to pump like crazy. Guys, I really hope this was all helpful for you to understand where we are in the cycle. So at the moment, as I showed you before, BTC looks great. So one potential scenario will be a meter top at roughly 85K. The other scenario could be more of a meter top around $110,000. So really, if you want to learn all of that, also I prepare a free masterclass for you where you can join, you can watch it, you can show you how I was able to turn roughly $50,000 into $1.2 million in only 2 years. And also, if you want to join the VIP group, guys, link in the comments, because we are killing this market. Take care, and I'm going to see you tomorrow for another video about trading Bitcoin and crypto.